Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of A Better Podcast with Kenny and Jeff. On this week's episode, we have a delightful little conspiracy theory for you, some interesting what-the-fuck news that you might enjoy, and, of course, we dive right into the shithole. So tune in for this week's episode of A Better Podcast with Kenny and Jeff. Great job, me. All right, pat the back.
I think next time we have to go for the NPR voice. Thinking that might be I think that might be our next winner.
I do have a voice that I do every time I listen to NPR and the show All Things Considered is on, and they say the name of the show. I always just respond with "All Things Considered" every time. I don't know why. It's a habit at this point.
It's ritual.
I do it for me, no one else.
It's because you're alone.
Yeah. I mean, look at me. Look at me.
I can't. That's the best part of this show.
Oh, burn.
I know. I'm full of fire today, guys. I'm all fired up. I got a long weekend ahead of me. Not that I needed the break, because I just had a huge, long holiday break.
You motherfucker. Well.
Delicious.
Your tears sustain me.
Yes.
Well, all right. We got a ton of shit to get through.
Oh my God, folks.
So we're going to start you off with a little bit of an appetizer before we dive into the main course. So normally on this show, I have a conspiracy theory and we have some what the fuck news. This time, a little bit truncated. There's not much going on in the conspiracy theory world and not much weird news happening. But I did find
honestly,
things.
That is very disappointing.
Right?
I'd much rather talk about conspiracy theories.
As would I.
And that.
But to start off this week's show, let's hit with the conspiracy theory. Play the theme song.
What is real?
Illuminati confirmed.
All right, good job.
That's not so much a song, but like I'll buy it. It's fine.
So earlier this week, actually, I should say, I think since mid-December, Taco Bell has been airing these Belluminati ads.
Yes.
And the purpose of them, it's this big ad campaign, because their goal is they want to put, I think, 20 new items on the dollar menu throughout the year. And the idea of this commercial is it's like there's this like secret enclave that decides what goes on the dollar menu. Right. And apparently Charlie Daniels saw this commercial and tweeted to Taco Bell, "Hey Taco Bell, the Illuminati is not a frivolous subject."
Charlie Daniels, Illuminati conspiracy theorist. Eh?
Yep. So that is the extent of this week's conspiracy theory. I really just wanted to tell you that he did that.
Maybe he was joking.
I don't think so, because they put up some other tweets of his, and they're kind of like the stereotypical right-wing crazy bullshit you'd hear about, like Benghazi and Jesus.
Well, Kenny, that happened.
That's true. It did happen. My bad. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, Benghazi and
there's some guy out there named Benghazi who is just furious right now.
Or just really confused, like, why do you guys keep saying my name?
I didn't do anything.
I never even met Hillary Clinton.
But yeah, I thought you should know that he said that, and that he's one of these people who believes in the Illuminati.
There you go.
And
Don't you, Kenny?
I'm sorry?
You, Kenny?
No.
Because they believe in you, Kenny.
Oh, really?
Believe in you.
Oh, that's so nice. And on that note, that is this week's conspiracy theory of the week.
What is real?
Illuminati confirmed.
Sorry, folks, short and sweet, but
And all right, so that's done. And now on to the what the fuck news. Play the theme song.
We have a theme song for What the Fuck News?
Just go with it. I should say also, every time I say play the theme song, I point to a corner of my room and no one else can see me do it.
Show me potato salad!
Now,
Let's get the hell out of here.
the what the fuck news I found this week, that I should say I found like 10 minutes ago. So as you would imagine, the Yankee Candle Company has a Twitter account.
Of course. Because
you would
they gotta tweet about candles.
except you would be wrong, because apparently that account has been suspended.
Oh, no!
And I really want to know what happened.
What did they do?
I don't know. I have no idea. The internet will not tell me.
Did they start selling that Trump candle from many episodes back? And Donald shut that shit down?
I don't know. It's so weird. Like, I can't find any news about it. No one, like, people are still tweeting to the handle, but they fucked up somewhere, and their account is suspended.
Well, that tears it. Yankee Candle, right wing, can't go there anymore. End of story. No real huge loss to me. I can't walk near that store without getting a migraine because the power, the overwhelming power of the odors.
And to be fair, though,
children.
to Yankee Candle, not as bad as Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah, that place is awful. It's like, hey, you want to buy some clothes that don't fit anybody? And also, in low lighting, bad club music, and too much cologne?
I went into an Abercrombie and Fitch once.
Really? Did you get lost?
No, actually, I did it purposely because I wanted to see if I could find anything in my size at all.
How'd it go?
And I found a shirt that was listed with my size. I wear a double X, full closure. I'm a big dude. Their double X is not a double X. It's at best a medium.
Wow.
Yeah, it did not even look like it would fit me. Like, not even close.
Kenny, it's a double X for thin, successful white people.
But I'm white.
Successful, thin, white people.
But I'm white.
Kenny, Kenny, you're not successful.
Shut up, I know.
I'll walk on eggshells with this one.
Fucking break that egg.
Also, I seen you shop at Big and Tall. I don't think you would ever buy anything of Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh no, I even if that thing fit me like a glove, I would never have bought it. I just wanted to see if they had anything.
It's like, oh, but the material.
Oh, but it feels so nice.
It feels so good on my skin.
So on that note, that is this week's What the Fuck news, where we say...
More of that story as it develops.
What the fuck? Yes, if there are any developments, you'll be the first to hear about it. Mostly you, Jeff, and then, afterward, everyone else.
Yeah, right.
All right, so that being said, let's dive into the meat of this week's episode. As we start off, or we should say we kick off, our lovely section of Weekly Armageddon Updates.
Ba, 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 ba. Oh, we have an actual
Cue the theme song.
God damn it.
What we need to do is we need to hire someone, or not hire, just like have one of our friends pretend to be an intern.
Hey. Yeah.
Just have one of our friends pretend to be an intern, so that every time I say that, they put the music on.
And so you have someone to point to.
Yep. Just have them sit in the corner of my room until I'm ready to point at them. All right. So there's a lot of shit to get through. And we did our best to try and tackle this chronologically because there's a lot of shit to go through.
It's like we managed to find something from every day of the week, starting Monday.
This whole week has felt like. Have you ever played Majora's Mask?
I have not. I know I'm gonna like lose my nerd card on that one, but I've never been much of a Zelda guy. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't really see sidetrack. I don't really think
Okay,
not liking certain series makes you lose your nerd card. Like if they're just not for you, they're just not for you.
I mean, like when Breath of the Wild came out, I was like, I mean that's cool and all, but I already have Skyrim and I don't want to buy a Switch. So
I think it's more when you criticize things for really just nonsense reasons. That's when you lose your nerd card.
yeah, they just don't do it for me. Yeah, they don't. They don't wet my whistle. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make my freak flag fly.
Word.
They don't get me hard, is what I'm saying. I can't get a hard on playing Zelda, Kenny.
Very, very flaccid. It's like pushing rope the whole time.
And I've been trying.
All right, Van Damme.
Moving on.
But the point I was trying to make is in the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. It's basically a game on a 3-day cycle. It's all about time travel and going back in time. But every time a new day starts, there's a title card that pops up that says dawn of the first day, 72 hours remain. Dawn of the second day, 48 hours remain. And that's what this whole week has felt like. Like Monday was like dawn of the first day, and then Tuesday dawn of the second day. Just with all this nonsense that was happening.
I kind of like pictured the days of the week going by with like the Law and Order dong dong. So it's like Monday dong dong, Tuesday dong
and the whole day the Law and Order theme is playing behind you.
Yeah. And then like Thursday it just goes to Aruga because they fucked up the dunk dunk.
Oh, DEFCON 1.
Ah! Or like there's just like a clown honk like burka burka.
Yeah, if there's any way to describe this whole administration, it's clown honk.
Ugh, I'm scared of clowns.
Fucking terrifying.
Let's begin, Kenny. Here we go.
Porn has never given me a more terrifying erection.
Okay, Kenny. I need you to give me a Law and Order dong dong when I say it.
Okay.
Starting with Monday.
Dum dum.
Kenny's seen a lot of Law and Order.
I don't care what you say. I fucking love SVU. Shit is my jam.
That's like the worst one, isn't it?
Totally not the worst one.
Isn't it the one that's like... It's like she was found raped with a shovel and decapitated in a bathtub.
Well, that's like every episode.
Exactly, isn't that a problem?
Every episode of like the whole franchise.
Oh Jesus!
I will say I did stop watching when Stabler left because Stabler was my boy.
I don't know who that is.
That's
I don't care.
I can't remember. He was in Oz. What's his name?
Oh! I do care now.
Oh, I can't remember the guy. I can't remember his name. Christopher Maloney. That's who he is.
Ah, Maloney!
I like he's a good cop name, Maloney. But yeah, once he left, I'm like, show isn't doing it for me anymore. But it's got Ice-T in it, so you know.
Which is still really weird.
Yeah, I don't know why he's in that show, but it makes it great.
After doing Cop Killer.
To be fair, there was a body count that wasn't just him. Anyway.
Take two.
Okay.
Starting with Monday.
Dum dum.
We have an announcement from the administration that says nearly 200,000 Salvadorians must now leave. Mm-hmm. They are taking away their temporary protected status. And now, to be fair, the T in TPS does stand for temporary. However, these folks have been here for over a decade. They still have no place to go back to in El Salvador.
Yeah, and the thing with the temporary part of that is they're only supposed to really go back when the conditions are safe. Like, they generally come here if there's things like a civil war occurring or a natural disaster or and basically anything that makes their country unsafe for them. That's what the purpose of the TPS is for. Countries like El Salvador still aren't really that safe.
No, there's zero infrastructure still in El Salvador. Let's see here. They had a civil war, but that designation expired in 1994. Mm-hmm. They're still in here. They're still there, though, but just because things have just been so wrecked the whole time.
Yep.
Some of these people have been here for decades. Mm-hmm. The important thing too is that these are 200,000 people with an overwhelming, like a staggering number of them work regularly. They have jobs. Mm-hmm. So they pay taxes, and they are not American citizens.
No.
And I don't know if they can even get American citizenship because they're here as like temporary refugees. They're still Salvadoran citizens.
Yeah.
So I don't think they can become American citizens.
I would say likely not, just based on the fact of how they got here. But I really feel like there should be some path to citizenship for them, especially if they're here that long. They've clearly adapted to the country at this point. These
people have kids who've only lived in America. They don't know anything about El Salvador. They don't. Exactly. This is their home.
It's like the DACA kids. Like they came here when they were 4, 5, 6. They've grown up here. And to have them have to be sent back too. Like they don't know Mexico. That's not the country they grew up in. That's not the culture that they're familiar with. This
article I found in the New York Times about it. Like they talk about this guy named Carlos Giron, who started a small contracting business and won bids for big jobs, and including painting federal buildings in the Washington area. So he's built a business.
Yeah.
This is a small businessman, everybody. And now Trump's like, I am a leader for small business. Get your ass back to El Salvador, brown guy. These guys pay taxes.
Yeah, that's the thing I think a lot of people don't realize is these people don't just come here and get a free ride.
No,
they earn their way and they pay their dues.
Yes. They pay taxes. They have mortgages. They pay rent. What do you want? I mean,
they make more money they contribute more to society than I do. I was born here.
They certainly do. Way more than Kenny ever will.
And Jeff.
Nope. Yep. Just Kenny.
Nope, both of us. I'm going to edit this so that I just say both of us.
San Salvador, the capital of El Salvador, oddly enough, is one of the most dangerous cities on Earth.
It has, from what I understand, is a pretty astronomically high homicide rate.
Yes. And the country's economy experienced the slowest growth of any country in Central America in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus
so
Christ.
It's not like these people are vacationing from, essentially a well-developed country. They're here for a reason. They didn't just come to the United States all willy-nilly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so baffled with the people that don't understand that and just think that people who receive things like TPS are just trying to milk the country dry. I cannot understand that mindset. 88%
of these people are in the labor force, compared with 63% for the overall United States population.
Mm-hmm. And you have
nearly 1/4 of them have a mortgage.
And you have to remember too, they're doing the jobs that you don't want to do, white America. They're doing those jobs. Sure, some of them are doing jobs you would probably love to have, but a lot of them aren't.
This is even crazier. It's like Trump, who is so happy with what we've done in Houston. Houston's gone over really well. Blah 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 blah. After the hurricane, a lot of these, according to this guy, he's the chief executive of Merrick Brothers. His name is Stan Merrick.
Mm-hmm.
He owns a large construction company with offices across Texas and Atlanta, and at least 29 Salvadorans on his payroll are program recipients. During hurricane recovery, he says, I especially need those men. If they lose their status, I have to terminate them. These guys are helping Houston.
They're helping fix the country that you run, Donald Trump. They're helping fix the country that you supposedly love. They're not taking... They're giving as much as they possibly can. I know I've said it, and I'll keep saying it. It just blows my mind.
And it's I don't know what version of El Salvador the administration is looking at that says yeah, it seems safe enough they can go back now. People are just going to leave. So the biggest takeaway I took from this article, and we should probably move on pretty quickly. Actually, it's also funny that a huge chunk of El Salvador's, money from the families living in the United States account for 17% of the country's economy.
That fucking blows my mind.
That blows my mind. 17% of a country's economy is coming from families living outside that country. That's how bad it is there.
And I don't think that anyone, just anyone on the right, let alone in this administration, realizes how deep the impact of deporting these people is going to go. Because you're not just going to get rid of them in this country and then affect the businesses that utilize their labor or their services. You're going to infect an entire nation by taking almost a fifth of their income away.
Here's the thing. That this is what I was trying to get to about the big takeaway, is that these most of these people they talk to in the article are just like these Salvadorians are just like, well, I guess I'll just be an illegal alien. I can't go back. Yeah. There's nowhere for them to go. So guess what? You just created almost 250,000 illegal immigrants.
and let's say you somehow find a way to deport every single TPS recipient from El Salvador, and you send them all back. Do you think they're just going to hang out there, or do you think they're going to try and make their way back? Because I have a feeling they're going to try and come back. Yeah. It doesn't matter how far into El Salvador
turn their asses around.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how far into the country you drop them off. They're just going to turn right around as soon as you leave.
Honestly, if I was the Canadian Prime Minister, what's his name, Mr. Sexy Pants?
Oh, Trudeau.
If I was Trudeau, I'd be like, Salvadorans, just keep moving north. Move on up, buddy. Move on up. We'll take 200,000 strong labor force. Mm-hmm. We'll take that in a heartbeat. Hells yes. Are you serious?
This is the thing that bothers me the most about things like this and everything we're going to talk about in this segment. And just the overall impact of the Trump administration is like the next two, like I would say at least the next two presidents, their sole job in the White House is going to be trying to repair every destroyed relationship that Trump has caused. There's going to be so many diplomatic relations that are like just going to be frayed almost completely apart because of Trump. And we're going to have to try and woo these people back.
Careful now, you're jumping ahead to Wednesday. We still have to do Tuesday, Kenny. Oh, Kenny, yeah. I'll let you handle Tuesday. I'll law and order you.
Okay. Well, and then Monday came to a close. And then we woke up, and it was Tuesday.
Bum bum.
So for those of you not in the know, well, shame on you. Tuesday was the day that Dianne Feinstein decided to say, you know what, fuck it. And she released the entire transcript of the, I think it was the Fusion GPS CEO had in a closed-door meeting with Congress.
It was like an 8-hour meeting or something.
Yeah, it's a 300-plus page transcript that she released that basically confirms absolutely everything in the Steele dossier. What's the Steele dossier, you may have asked? Well, good question, astute listener. The Steele dossier is where things like the pee-pee tape come from. That joke about the pee-pee tape, that's where that comes from.
More importantly, it has to do with the obvious collusion with Russia.
Absolutely. But I would like to harken back to the pee-pee tape real quickly. That means the pee-pee tape is real. Because pretty much everything in the Steele dossier was confirmed by that conversation that the Fusion GPS CEO had with Congress.
Now, wasn't he peed on by two prostitutes in that?
Yes, as I recall, I don't know if it was two. I thought it was more, but let's just say two.
I thought it was two.
It's at least more than one.
He's not Jeff Bezos rich. He's only Donald Trump rich, which isn't actually that rich, apparently.
Yeah, and in the transcript, they also confirmed that Trump actually isn't a billionaire.
No, he's not.
Nope. No, but like that. Well, that's been the speculation. He's always not really a billionaire, and that's why he won't release his taxes. Yeah. I think it's a combination of that and the Russia stuff, obviously. But in the transcript, there's a section where he talks about like he's not a billionaire. Trump is not a billionaire. But yeah, the pee-pee tape is where he got peed on by a couple prostitutes. That's what he likes. And again, I'm not kink shaming him. You like what you like. You do you, boo. But I am going to make fun of you because of who you are as a person. But the biggest thing that I took away from it, and I don't have sections of this highlighted out because it's a 300-plus page document, and I don't have that kind of time to go through all of it. Okay, that's a lie. I have the time. I just didn't. But there's a part where he talks about people being killed over this. Like, he actually has confirmation people have died because of the dossier.
Wow. Wow.
That's huge.
Like people to silence the dossier, or like...
I don't know if it's necessarily to silence it, but I think there are people connected to it. I'll have to reread this section. But there are highlights people have put online. I'll see if I can find that specific one. But like reading that, like really, but it really bothered me in the sense that like all these people have been trying to talk about how Christopher Steele, who is the person who released the dossier, he's a traitor and he's trying to hurt America by releasing this and blah blah blah. And it's like when information like that comes out, like that is just 100% ironclad proof that he is trying to help the country because of how sensitive this information is, has caused people to die, and he still releases it anyway. Like, that speaks to just how much he's trying to help us as opposed to hurt us as a country. And the fact that people can read things like that and still think that about him is so aggravating. But yeah, the transcript is this huge insight into everything in the dossier and everything about Trump that we've been learning slowly as Mueller's been doing his investigation. And my favorite part about it is that Dianne Feinstein is like, no, fuck it.
Excuse me, her full name is Dianne Brassballs Feinstein. Dianne Feinstein, San Francisco native and senator from California. Dianne Lightning Comet Feinstein has been married 3 times because 1 man wasn't enough. 2 men weren't enough. 3 men probably aren't enough. Dianne Feinstein is 84. She probably still gets it.
Probably gets on the reg.
Dianne the Hammer Feinstein actually said, "What's he gonna do about it?" regarding Trump and the release of the transcript.
And then I believe a faint Z snap was heard in the distance.
Not a faint. She gave it with her hip because she's 84.
Yeah, I think her hip was just cracking. But yeah, no, that's what I love is that we've had all these people in Congress who are talking about trying to stop Trump and the danger the administration is causing and so on and so forth. But she's one of the few that said, "Fuck it, no, I'm gonna do something about this. I'm gonna show the American people what was said because they need to know. They need to know." And I'm so happy that she released it. I have issues with her in the sense that she is a pretty what's the word I want to use? She is pretty establishment in terms of her role in the government. So I do have issues with that because I do want some fresh blood in. But this is one of those times where I can say, regardless of how I feel about her, she did the American people a favor. Absolutely 100%.
I've also always been kind of like very meh about Feinstein, very vanilla on her. Mm-hmm. But today, or this week, she gets to be Dianne Jackhammer Feinstein. Because she just fucking pimp walked her way in there, and dropped off the transcript and was like deuces, and then rolled out in a rascal.
I will say, I think in her honor, we should make her friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Dianne Bosscock Feinstein.
Oh, we should get her on the show, and we should give that to her on a plaque.
Oh God, Dianne, she would love
Bosscock Feinstein.
And I don't want to say that. I'm not trying to say masculinity is better. It's just really funny to give this woman a nickname like Bosscock.
Well, the origin of that nickname comes from Band of Brothers with Captain
Band
Winters.
of Brothers.
Because if you watch that show,
Major Winners.
Excuse me, Major Winners. Excuse me.
Later.
That's right. He starts out as Captain. He becomes a
Major. I think he became a full bird colonel as well at one point, later on in life.
I think he did. But that's
when he fought in Korea because he wasn't done.
I haven't killed enough people. But that's where the nickname comes from, because if you watch that miniseries, you'll agree, he is Bosscock.
Yeah, he just goes in there. Winters gets shit done. He doesn't like it. He doesn't want to do it, but it's the job he's got to do. It's a shit sandwich, and everybody's got to take a bite, and he's going back for seconds.
My favorite part about him in that whole story is you and Matt had watched this before I did, and I didn't know who Major Winters was at the time. So when you kept calling him Bosscock, I thought his name was Bosscock. And I got very confused when they kept calling him Winters.
Winters!
Who the fuck is this Bosscock?
It's Bosscock.
But yes, that was the big news for Tuesday. The American people got a win, which is really, really rare to come by these days.
And that's all we got.
and that was Tuesday.
That was Tuesday.
All right, and then would you like to take it from here, Jeff?
I'll take Wednesday. And then Tuesday's bright and glorious revelations went away, And right as we were about to really dive in on Tuesday, we got Wednesday.
Bum bum.
I like that. There's a hesitation there. Like, he left us hanging. Like, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it?
It's a very slow door close, this one. Because
Yes.
I didn't want Tuesday to leave, but it had to go.
Had to go. This one's not as bad.
Which is...
To be honest with you, this didn't make headline news. To be fair, we were still talking about Diane Bosscock-Feinstein on Wednesday. But this also happened where the newly appointed ambassador to the Netherlands, Peter Hoekstra.
I believe that's his name.
Yeah, he held his first news conference, a Trump appointee. Mm-hmm. He held his first news conference with the Dutch media at his new residence in The Hague on Wednesday. It did not go well.
Sources say not his best moment.
No. Apparently, in the past, this guy, he used to be a senator, by the way, before being elevated to ambassador to the Netherlands. Mm-hmm. Which, let's be real, it's probably a lateral move.
Probably.
Sorry, not to call out the Netherlands, because they get more badass as this story goes on.
It's true.
He said on a number of occasions, and it was recorded, and he said over and over again, talking about the chaos that's been caused by the Islamic movement all over Europe. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then he called out the Netherlands specifically. He said, quote, "And yes, there are no-go zones in the Netherlands. There are cars being burned. There are politicians that are being burned."
Yeah, not light things to say.
Yeah, so these Dutch journalists kept asking him questions about these unsubstantiated claims he made not just 2 years ago. And he has been refusing to say anything. And there are ladies and gentlemen, there are some beautiful, delicious video of this, on this article that's via Twitter, where they're asking him questions, and he is awkwardly just not asking it. They're asking him, do you want to revisit that issue? Do you want to go back and renounce what you said? And at one point, America's first ambassador to Holland was John Adams, and he had a quote that is mounted on the fireplace behind him during this press conference, and it says it's Adams expressing the hope that only honest and wise men ever rule under this roof. and the journalist goes, asks him to read the plaque first off, and he fucking does it because this guy's an idiot. And he says, "If you're truly an honest, wise man, could you please take back the remark about burned politicians or name the politician that was burned in the Netherlands?" An uncomfortable silence followed the question.
As you would expect.
All Hoekstra said was, "Thank you." That's his big response, which is, "Thank you." He goes, "Excuse me, I asked you a question." Another journalist jumped in. "Mr. Ambassador, can you mention any example of a Dutch politician who has been burned in recent years?" And then finally, one reporter shouts, and this is my favorite part, because they're Dutch. "This is the Netherlands. You have to answer questions."
Oh, God damn it.
Oh.
That makes me so fucking happy.
Oh, God. In a previous interview about this a few days before, he called the comments that he made fake news. And he goes, in my country we call that fake news. And the reporter is just flabbergasted in the video. He's like, "We have the clip right here. You said this. It's not
Would you like to watch it with us?"
Yes, we can show you the clip. Really? Come on, dude. Oh, God, this is just amazing.
It's just so baffling that they do this. Like, I understand why they do it, but the fact that they do it at all still just confuses the shit out of me.
This guy, Jesus. This guy has speculated that some 10 to 15% of the Muslim community in the world, that's 270 million people, were radical Islamist militants, and prepared to imply that former Hillary Clinton aide Huma Abedin had egregious ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. This guy said this. First off, if there are 270 million people who are Islamist militants, we already lost.
Yeah.
We're all dead. You can't beat an army of 270 million.
Even honestly, if you took every army on the planet, you might beat them, but you're going to sustain a ton of casualties.
Yes.
And good luck trying to coordinate that army, by the way.
He's also said that he considered the possibility that President Barack Obama might have been intentionally aiding the rise of Muslim extremists.
Well, he is a Muslim after all.
Yes, secret Muslim.
I like that Obama initially started as a radical Christian, because
yeah, that was weird for a while.
Yeah, there was that whole uproar about his pastor, radicalizing him in church, because they showed a video of him where he's speaking very fiery and using some less than pleasing language. But then at some point he became a Muslim, and I don't remember when the shift happened.
Because they realized his middle name was Hussein.
Yeah, his name is Barack Hussein Obama, and America's like, yeah, I want that guy. Like, that was.
I mean, to be fair, Hussein isn't exactly Joe over there, but it's still a common name.
Yeah. But no, it's just I'm just like baffled. Like, I can't remember when the switch happened to where they're like, oh no, he's a Muslim now. Like, it was just so sudden.
So, Kenny, from there, we don't leave the Netherlands yet.
Not quite yet.
We don't leave that area of the world just yet. But it still takes us to. Kenny, actually, you should carry on. This is your turn. It's your turn. Sorry, I almost stole his thunder, everybody. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I still got it. I've been
drinking. Full disclosure.
Same. And then, with the less than ideal press conference, Wednesday ended. And then we entered into Thursday. Where Trump said some, shall we say, less than ideal things about what happened, or about some countries. Because
he says less than ideal things like all the time.
Yeah, but this he just said, "Fuck it, I'm going all in on this one," because I don't give a shit. So for those of you not in the know, which I don't know how you wouldn't be, they were discussing. More specific. I'm trying to think how to word it specifically, but basically it was just they're talking about just general immigration. I think. I don't know if they were discussing. I think they were trying to discuss an enhanced immigration policy, and they were talking about immigration from countries like Haiti and various African countries. And in response to this, Trump had said, let's see if I can get the exact quote. He said, here we go. He said, "Why are we having all these people from shithole countries come here?" He didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't say that they were bad countries. He didn't say that they were non-ideal countries. He didn't say that they were terrible countries. He just went right over all of that and went right to shithole.
Shithole countries.
Now, to be fair, I do want to clarify, not necessarily to be nice to Trump, but just for accuracy. He didn't call Haiti a shithole. He did say terrible things about Haiti, but when he was talking about the shithole countries, he was only talking about the African countries. That's somehow makes it sound worse to me that he was only talking about Africa. But that's just for the purpose of accuracy, than trying to defend Trump at all, because because Jake Tapper put out a tweet about this, saying the same thing, and he said at the end, like, this isn't, like, to say that it was better because it was 54 countries, not 55. I'm just putting it out there for accuracy. And that's the kind of thing here. It's like, it's not better because it was one less country. It's still shitty. It's just want the shit to be accurate.
Didn't he say that one country was just riddled with AIDS? Did he name?
Actually, I think Haiti was the AIDS country.
Haiti's the AIDS country. That's right. Just got loads of AIDS there.
Just AIDS, just fucking all over the place. You step down off the plane, you got AIDS.
Got AIDS. Got the HIV.
Got the HIV. Got the ninja.
Fucking ninja. He sneaks up on you every time.
But this does tie into Norway, because at some point during this meeting with several senators, he had mentioned that we should get more immigrants from places like Norway,
which he had just been to. Norway, the very Nordic white country that we've recently been giving lots of jets to, F-35 Lightning IIs, and then of course F-52s, Kenny, the very famous, incredibly powerful F-52 plane.
So stealthy though, you can't even fucking see them.
Can't even fucking see them. I guarantee you will never see an F-52 in the sky.
Nope, you will.
Mostly because they do not exist. They are fictional.
Nope, that's not true. They exist in Call of Duty.
They're in a video game. In Call of Duty.
Is it Advanced Warfare? I believe it is.
It's Advanced Warfare.
Which makes you think that Trump just played the game.
No, it's just this. Unfortunately, is just a simple gaffe. But still. That's hilarious.
That is hilarious. And a funny note about Norway, an article I read shortly before the show started. Immigration to Norway from the United States is greater than immigration from Norway to the United States. So we are
Norway.
More people are going to Norway than are coming from Norway.
Norway is actually touting that, like,
which makes me laugh very hard.
A number of users on social media reshared a semi-satirical Norwegian website launched in 2016 with the purported aim of welcoming Trump-skeptical Americans to the region as part of a promotional campaign. One Norwegian official in Brussels deadpanned that the country might consider changing its official tourism slogan from "powered by nature" to "not a shithole," before saying that the whole situation was a bit awkward. Norwegians on social media also questioned the attractiveness of immigrating to a country without free healthcare, paid parental leave, or gun control. Quote, "I'm a Norwegian who enjoys studying and working in the U.S. The only thing that would attract me to emigrate to the U.S. is your vibrant multicultural society. Don't take that away." That's nice.
That is nice. And that is one thing I will say that we do have that Norway really doesn't. We do have a very diverse, for now, society. So
that's why Trump wants more Norwegians, because we have much too many brown people. Too many brown
It's getting a little too dark outside, shall we say.
A little too dark outside. A little too shady out there.
Oh, that hurts to think about.
A Republican pollster quoted a report that said 43% of immigrants from African countries have a bachelor's degree or higher, compared with 33% of the U.S. population overall.
Which, oh my god, I don't understand how you can see. I mean, I get it, because you're a horrible racist person. But at the same time, I don't understand how you can see these stats and be like, yeah, but let's keep them out.
Immigrants work fucking hard. I don't understand why this is just like hard for people to believe. Because like for years we've been hearing about this, like the lazy Mexican, lazy immigrant, lazy. Dude, immigrants work really fucking hard. And way harder than I've ever worked.
And do you know why they work very hard? Because they fucking have to. Because they want to stay here.
Ugh.
Like, they don't just come here and just, like, suck on the government teat and just drain us of money. They contribute more money than they take away. And I'm baffled by this. Like, I know part of it's jealousy. You're jealous that the Mexican immigrant is a better person than you. I get it.
Mm-hmm. Better looking,
nicer, kinder, just has a better overall disposition, friendlier to be around, more interesting of a person. But I get it. Pretty
much any of them are hung better than you. Let's be real.
That's really where the jealousy is.
There's mosquitoes hung better than Donald Trump. I don't know that
he isn't any.
I don't know that because I've seen his penis. I know that because he acts as if he has no penis, and he's really trying very hard.
Well, of course you haven't. Of course you haven't seen it, Jeff. Even if he showed it to you, you wouldn't be able to see it.
I don't have that kind of time, and I lack the time and the electron microscope to spot this man's penis.
Oh, sorry, I've forgotten my jeweler's eye. I can't seem to find it. Yeah, it's.
Can you point it out to me, please? No, you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna go.
And the thing that I find the funniest about all of this is, like, I guarantee you, Donald Trump couldn't point these fucking countries out on a map.
No.
He couldn't point them out on a map if you fucking told him where to put the pin.
He doesn't know how many countries are in Africa. Africa's a big fucking continent.
Like, I know that the globe tends to skew this. Because
Africa is much bigger than it appears on like a globe.
Like there's pictures you can find of this online, but if you took the United States and superimposed it over Africa, it takes up maybe half the continent.
Mm-hmm.
It's a massive fucking continent, and it's such a diverse place too. I mean, it's not just tribes of black people running around. There's tons of diversity in Africa. Oh man, God, it's so fucking it's so aggravating to just think about this. But there has been some positive pushback from this.
Oh my god, the whole world
outside of Trump, just being made a fool again. Like this picture I saw of there's a bookstore, I think it's in New York. Yeah, it's in Kingston, New York. It's called Rough Draft, and they put out a display table with various books, as you would expect. Of a wide range of authors, and the title card for the display says "Writers from Shithole Countries," and you have books from people like Nelson Mandela and Malala and Junot Diaz. So that's like some of the positive things that are coming out of this, and then you have just people, like you were telling me earlier, people taking pictures of their country and talking about like this is the shithole I come from, and it's these beautiful pictures of these places.
Check out my shithole. I mean, Kenny, look at my shithole. I think I have a problem.
And then you got one guy who just sends a picture of his asshole.
That's not actually part of the show, Kenny. I need you to help me out. I'm going to take a picture of my asshole later, and I need you to help me out with that, please.
All right. Okay.
Anyway.
So that is one thing I will say. What the other positive that's come out of this is I have never heard the word shithole used so many times on TV before.
Oh my god!
CNN is throwing out like a fucking comma, and it's great.
Anderson Cooper said shithole so many times. He's about it.
I love that they're saying it like no hesitation. Not like, oh, I don't know if I should say this. Like, no, we're gonna fucking say it, and we're gonna own this shit. Hole. But that's very funny to me. But no, like there's really positive pushback. Seeing these people really embrace this awful description of the countries they come from. So it's really nice to see that it's not all fire and brimstone and anger from people, which I support. Be as angry as you want, but it is nice to see there is something else going on other than just vitriol at the president. Because being angry is good, but we're not going to fix anything if we're just angry. There has to be some kind of positive impact from this. So it's a good response, I think.
We've said it before, too, earlier, is that like any president coming after this guy has to spend like the entire, like maybe first 2 years of their term just going, we are so sorry.
Yeah, we
are so very sorry about this.
They're going to have to go sit down with Angela Merkel and just be like, okay, what do I got to do to fix this?
What do I got to do?
Like, how many dicks I got to suck? I'm going to suck your dick?
This has given us we have lost so much of all this diplomatic clout that we've built up for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
And he's only been president for a little over a year.
He hasn't been president for a year. He is 1 week shy of a year as president.
Oh god.
So next episode will be the 1 year anniversary of Trump.
Oh.
We can do a retrospective.
We don't have that kind of time, Kenny.
We'll focus on like one or two things to be a retrospective on.
Oh my god.
But I love that, and then there's people that are in the meeting that are trying to deny that he said this, but then you have senators like Dick Durbin coming out saying, no, he fucking said this, and he said it multiple times. Which, if you know anything about Trump, and if you know anything about Fire and Fury, he repeats himself a lot.
Yes.
So for Dick Durbin to come out and say he repeated himself multiple times saying this, I believe it.
Trump has since denied making the off-color remark, but he did describe the language he used only as tough.
Yeah,
I use tough language. I'm a tough guy. I'm very tough. I'm Donald Trump, and I'm very tough.
Very tough. The toughest guy. Huge.
Oh, God.
And it's so fucking infuriating. And the thing that really upsets me is almost no Republicans have come out and said anything about this.
No, they're keeping very mum.
There's a couple, like you've had Jeff Flake come out and say that this was, pretty reprehensible. McCain came out and said pretty much the same thing. This is terrible, and he should apologize, kind of thing.
Lindsey Graham was in the room, and if Trump had not have said it, Lindsey Graham would have been like the first to a microphone and be like, "Nope, didn't happen, didn't say it."
And the thing that upsets me at Lindsey Graham is like he issued a response and he basically said like, "Well, I've said my piece to Trump personally." It's like, no, say something now. Well, you have everyone's fucking ear. So pretty much all of the response has been from Democrats. So I'm relieved that the people I want to speak out are speaking out, but it's also really upsetting that they're the only ones really speaking out. Because this should be a bipartisan thing. Like you shouldn't have sides on whether or not it's good that Trump called these countries a shithole. Like I don't understand how you can hear that and be like, I guess it's fine. It's fine. But there has been another positive pushback from this.
No, stop it!
Is this going to go every time I say something? But there's another positive pushback is that Don Lemon seems to have found us fine.
Oh, good.
And I say this because he opened up his show that same day with this monologue, basically just saying outright Trump is a racist. Like, because a lot of places have said, he said racial things. He said, racial remarks. He's like the things he has said have had racist tendencies. He just came out and said, no, he's a fucking racist.
This is racist.
And he said without saying it that Trump supporters can go fuck themselves. Which love it. But he had a guest on that later that night. I can't remember his name, and I'm bummed because I can't find it. But he's a pretty dyed-in-the-wool Trump supporter, and it was a panel of it was on Lemon and then 4 other guests. And the racist guy, I think his last name is Mudd, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me on that. Could be wrong. But he's going off, and he says something to Don Lemon that's pretty heinous. And then his some of the other panelists are like what the fuck, basically. And Don Lemon's like, no, I'm gonna let him keep going. And then he keeps going, and then a minute later he says something else to Don Lemon, and Don's like, no, okay, fuck it, you're done. I'm cutting you off. And he just cuts off the dude's like, oh, you're cutting my mic? Yeah, I am cutting your mic. You're being a fucking racist. And then he just addresses the audience, and it's beautiful.
You gonna cut my mic? Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, because you're being a racist. So that is what I'm happy about. And I'm happy about it because when Trump was first elected, Don Lemon was one of the people that said, we have to give him a chance. We have to see how he's going to do. Which I get the sentiment behind. You have to give him a chance. But you don't have to say it out loud. So it's nice to see him go from that mindset to just, nope, dude's a racist. Fuck it. Because Don Lemon's kind of been, kind of soft in that area in the sense of he doesn't seem like he's addressed these kind of things head on as much as he should. Mm-hmm. At least from what I've seen. So it is nice to see him actually just guns blazing, go out and say, no, I'm not putting up with this anymore. So I do like that. And Anderson Cooper had a really nice monologue about his time in Haiti when he went there as a reporter during the earthquake. Okay, and that's another thing that fucking bothers me. These comments came out on the 8th anniversary of the fucking Haiti earthquake in 2010.
It's really kind of shitty.
that's just like the shit on the shitty cake. Like, it's like of all the days to say that, like you had to pick that day.
Come on, man.
But
Show just for the first time in your life, can you show just a little bit of class? Just like the barest modicum of class.
like wait 24 fucking hours and then make your awful comment. Like that's the most we're asking from you at this point.
Or just die in a fire.
That too. I'd be okay.
You
with
can
that.
choose option A or option B.
Personally, I would say do option A and then option B.
Choose B. Choose B. Choose B. Choose B.
But no, and then Andrew Cooper gave a really nice monologue about his time in Haiti and talking about how just great these people are and how much they persevere through all the things they've been through, and just like how strong they are as people. And it was really nice and really moving. So it's nice to see, especially a network like CNN, which has been lambasted the whole time Trump's in office, to start doing things like that.
Oh, that's just great news for CNN, though. They've nothing but benefited from all the drubbing they get from Donald Trump.
Oh, I know, and I definitely agree they have. But it's just I don't know. It's just nice to see that, like, after all that, to still be like, we're still gonna do real news kind of thing, and not put up with shit. So I think that's the to do about those comments. It's fucking heinous, and then and then I would go on Twitter, and then this one thing there's one positive that came out of this, is that just like the Charlottesville rally, the Nazis aren't hiding anymore, because there were people that came out on Twitter and said things like, "What's wrong with calling a shithole country a shithole country?" I'm like, "Oh, you're the racist, got it." And then there was this girl
found you.
There you've been hiding. And then there was this woman, Tommy Lahren. I'm sure you've heard of her.
Nope.
Oh,
I am not as active on the Twitter sphere.
She initially was on Glenn Beck's network, The Blaze.
Also, did not catch that very often.
And then she said she was pro-abortion, or not pro-choice.
Gotta get rid of that chick.
Yeah, and so they fired her, and then Fox News picked her up. And then she like fits the Fox News mold because she's a quasi-attractive blonde woman.
Yeah, that's what they only ever get.
Yeah, it's weird. But she had said, if they aren't shithole countries, why don't their citizens stay there? Let's be honest. Let's call it like it is. And so then I took that moment to respond and say, hey, you know what? Let's call it like it is. You're a cunt.
Oh, Kenny.
Okay, I didn't say exactly that. I'll see if I can.
That's not really discourse.
No, she is not someone you have discourse with. If you go through her Twitter feed, if you go look at anything she's put online, because she puts a bunch of videos online, she does not care about discourse.
Do not engage, Kenny. Do not engage.
She never engages back.
Why would she? You called her a cunt.
I've tried engaging with her. I've tried asking her questions about the things she said and like try to get her to clarify, have a dialogue. She never
ask her to marry you.
Ugh, no.
Engage her that way.
No. Well, to be fair, I didn't exactly call her that. I did say that she's a malignant tumor in American society, that she lowers the collective IQ with every word she says. She's entered the neutron star, and she's faker than her dye job. And then I called her a cunt.
that almost made it better. Until you got back to the point where you called her a cunt still.
Hey, I'm just calling it like I see it. She told me to call it like it is, so I did.
That's fair, I suppose.
But that's the one positive that has come out of this, is that, once again, the racists aren't hiding, so you can find them very easily.
It's not Where's Waldo anymore.
Nope. It's more like, where's
more
Waldo?
like,
Oh, there he is.
It's more like, there's Waldo. Thank you. This has been a better podcast. Good night.
Jeff, the show's not done.
I said.
I don't know if you heard when I said good night. But with that, I think that's really all we can say at this point.
But no, wait, Kenny, you had something about Friday. Do you want?
Well, I meant about Thursday, but yes.
Oh, okay.
That closes the door on Thursday, and then Friday arrived. And
That would have been better if people didn't hear it 15 times and I was trying to cue it up.
Don't worry.
But it's only
We'll
only a 2-second YouTube clip.
We'll get it in post. Don't worry. So Friday happened. The big news was still the comments Trump made, but other news had occurred. One of the big things was that so we all know the tax cut went through, signed by Trump.
Yeah, that's great. Fantastic.
Which he fucked up signing that in the sense that the original plan was to sign it this year so that the tax cuts wouldn't go until next year, which the Republicans could use as a talking point, saying, "Oh look, because obviously they're going to lose a ton of seats in 2018," and they use it as a talking point, saying, "Oh look, the economy's sucking under Democrats. See what happens when you don't have Republicans."
Mm-hmm.
But now because he signed it last year, because his reasoning was he kept hearing that people said he wasn't going to sign it this year like he promised. And he said, "Oh, fuck that, I'm going to do it now." Because he signed it last year, they go into effect this year, so all the negative impact is going to be all on the Republicans. So he fucked that up real bad for them.
My heart goes out to him.
Yep. Thoughts and prayers.
Feel real bad.
So a lot of companies have been responding to this, saying, "Oh, let's give our employees bonuses." Like AT&T was a big highlight of this, with most people not realizing that the bonuses that they were giving out had actually been negotiated months prior, before the tax cut had been signed. But that's neither here nor there. So Republicans are using this to say, "Look, benefits from the taxes cuts already," which didn't make sense because the tax cuts hadn't gone through at the time. Anyway, so Walmart gave I think it was a $1,000 bonus to some like 200,000 employees. I think it was.
Well, here's the deal. Let me see here. They are raising the minimum wage at Walmart to $11 an hour. So they're still paying slave wages.
Yep.
But
the saddest thing of all is it's still above the federal minimum by
a wide margin.
Yeah.
They are increasing benefits available to employees, and employees can now get bonuses of up to $1,000.
Say what? But one caveat to that is, as I understand, you have to have been employed there for 20 years to get your $1,000 bonus.
Well, that's the up to in there. The $11 an hour thing is also the starting hourly wage. So the average starting hourly wage at Walmart has been under $11 an hour.
Probably right at that federal minimum. As Chris Rock said, all the minimum wage says, I'd pay you less if I could.
If I could.
But it's illegal.
So that all happened the other day.
So that was the big positive. People are getting raises, bonuses are flying out from the greedy hands of Walmart. Maybe their story is a positive one after all.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But fuck that, because you know what else happened that day, Kenny?
What else happened that day, Jeff?
Walmart announced that they were closing 63 Sam's Club stores across the U.S. Some of them closed almost immediately.
Yep.
As in, people came to work that morning, and the doors were locked with a note that said, "Store is closed."
Which makes me wonder, did they close these stores like with the stuff still inside and like, we'll just get it later? Or did they, like, the second the last person left, they hauled ass and just took everything?
No, all that shit's still in there. They're beginning the process of like dismantling all this stuff.
It's fucking fascinating to me.
It's like it's just 9,400 employees are going to be impacted by this. The best part is, Kenny, is that they're going to get the opportunity to apply for new positions.
Oh, great. Do you know what my favorite part about this is? So Walmart gave out bonuses totaling about $226 million, from what I understand. The cost of the employees that they let go was $252 million. So if they'd only spent about $26 million more, they could have kept 9,400 people employed. I mean, let's be fair. They could do both, because they aren't hurting. the largest private employer in the country. But yeah, I find that hilarious.
I want to make a redaction. I was being hasty when I said that all 9,400 employees would have the opportunity to reapply for positions.
Oh, okay.
The article reads that 10 of the affected stores will be turned into e-commerce distribution centers, and employees of those stores will have the opportunity to reapply for positions at those locations.
So they closed 63 stores, are repurposing 10 of them.
Yes.
So the other 53, all the other stores with that aren't being turned into that, everyone's SOL.
Yes, they're fired.
Got it. Why wouldn't you just hire them immediately for your e-commerce distribution center? Like,
So
you already know what skills they have. You hired them.
But don't worry though. If you are if you are a Sam's Club member and your store is one Tobias Boland Way in Worcester, Massachusetts, your store, you will get your membership dues refunded to you.
All right. Winning.
Some Sam Club's employees were informed of the closings via notices that were sent through FedEx. Quote, FedEx showed up at my door with a package from Sam's Club, and I was thinking that maybe it was my W-2. Nick Townsend, an employee of Sacramento, California Sam's Club, told Business Insider. It was a letter saying they are closing down. I'm unsure of what to do. I have a baby and a mentally sick mother. I'm lost. I'm heartbroken. I'm scared.
That's so fucked up. Now, can you imagine if you went to work at Sam's Club, only to find it closed, and because you were there, you missed the FedEx delivery guy? Like, talk about a double whammy.
Kenny, gets worse though.
I'm skeptical, but I'll believe you.
Three of the closures are in hurricane-ravaged Puerto Rico.
Wow.
Three of them.
Like
the Barcelona Puerto Rico store closed without notice. Over 950 people without jobs.
Jesus.
This is the last thing that Puerto Rico needed after Hurricane Maria devastated the island. Says Eliezer Cabrera, a Sam's Club shopper, hopefully in Puerto Rico.
Man, you ever hear a phrase and you wonder what that would be? Like, if you ever wonder what, the phrase, kicking them while they're down, read this article.
Kenny.
Does it get worse?
What's really weird about this is that Anchorage, Alaska has at least 2 Sam's Club locations there. In Anchorage? Had because it's gone.
I was going to say, there's only 2 people that live there.
Yes, Anchorage, Alaska had 2, and one store in Fairbanks also is closed.
I mean, the Alaska one may make sense from a business standpoint because there's not a ton of people in Alaska. But the ones like the Puerto Rico one, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Other than you're just greedy as fuck.
The remaining stores will be open for several weeks, but before closing permanently. All of the affected stores were scrubbed from the Sam's Club website on Thursday morning.
Jesus.
This is what they've said.
Fuck you.
This is how they've reached the decision.
Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't the response.
Review. Yeah. So, after a thorough review, it became clear we had built clubs in some locations that impacted other clubs, and where population had not grown as anticipated. Ferner said in an email. Ferner is the CEO, John Ferner, of Sam's Club. We will be closing some clubs, and we notified them today. We'll convert some of them into e-commerce fulfillment centers to better serve the growing number of members shopping with us online and continue scaling the SamsClub.com business.
See,
they closed them down, Kenny, because they had too many of them.
Which that happens. Stuff happens. See, here's the part of that
Sure.
I don't buy. So
Sure, lay it on me.
you want to close these stores because you feel like you've built too many close together, so they're impacting each other. It makes sense. You don't want to expand too far, because it's like when you're playing Civ, you don't want to build your cities too close because then they have to fight for resources. It doesn't work out for anyone. Why would you close all of them then? Why wouldn't you keep one open, or maybe two if they're far enough apart?
Not all Sam's Clubs are closed. Just 63 sports.
But like the 3 in Puerto Rico. Like,
oh yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, but I mean really, like,
does Puerto Rico have like such a plethora of Sam's Clubs that they had to close 3? I mean, they closed 3 in Alaska, but fuck me, that's Alaska.
Yeah. But even then, like, why would you close all of them in Alaska? Because if your whole point is like, well, they're if we have them open and they're hurting each other's business, why not leave one open so that one gets all the business? Like that, I don't understand their thought process on that. It makes no sense.
I mean, you think Puerto Rico's got it bad? Illinois, the great state of Illinois, is going to lose
the land of Lincoln.
6. Yes, they're going to lose 6 Sam's Clubs soon, Kenny. 6.
Did they even have more than that in the state?
No, they probably have loads of them. So, I would buy that there's like 80 Sam's Clubs in the state of Illinois. I don't think on the tiny island of Puerto Rico there are a ton of Sam's Clubs.
I have a feeling probably not the case. But you know what? I guarantee you what place is never going to see a single closure of a Sam's Club? Arkansas.
Incorrect.
Wow, they actually closed them in the home state.
Yes, they did. Let me see here. Let me find it. Arkansas is what?
Is a state?
Yeah, are they AK or are they AR? I forget. No, that's Arizona.
Arizona is. No, Arizona is AZ.
AZ. So yeah, they are AR because AK is Alaska.
That's right. Yeah, they are AR. My bad.
Okay. So Arkansas. No. I take it back. Then take it back.
Taking it back.
After further review.
Ruling on
play
the
field.
field
Stands.
I like it. We both went there.
Thank you. That's what we did. After some quick internet research, there are now. Holy shit! My God. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Sam's Clubs currently operating in Puerto Rico.
Why?
Yeah.
Why that many?
Although, to be fair, on this map, that's a pharmacy. Make that 8. Make that 8.
Yeah.
That's incorrect information.
Jeff, you were dropping the ball all over tonight.
I'm just Googling, man. I'm just Googling. 7, because that's also a Sam's Club's pharmacy there with no Sam's Club near it.
That's so baffling to me. Still, like that they just close them without saying anything.
Good God. Hey, you know what country looks bigger than Puerto Rico? Haiti.
I bet that's a place that could use a Sam's Club.
Oh God.
So yeah, that's the big Walmart news. Little / Sam's Club. It's just
The Waltons, still shitty people.
richest
And I don't
family
even care if they
in
weren't
the
involved in
country.
this. Yes.
But
I think they're the richest family in the world, aren't they?
Family possibly. I'd look that up. But this family is comprised of 6 people. I think, from what I understand, is worth more than the bottom 40% of the country. Like, that's an astounding amount of wealth.
Apparently, the Waltons are the 3rd richest family in the world.
Right.
The first being the Rothschild family from Germany.
Of course.
And the second being the House of Saud from Saudi Arabia.
Well, the Rothschilds
that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, the Rothschilds do control the world, so second place maybe not too bad.
No, third place.
Oh, third place.
They're just behind Saudi Arabia, and I know it's the Saud family, but it's Saudi Arabia. It's not a coincidence that it's called Saudi Arabia.
I may start seeing a connection. Yeah, that's so they have this tremendous amount of wealth. I guarantee you, before the tax cuts, their yearly profits were over $1 billion, and they couldn't give a bonus out and keep some stores open so people had a job.
I'm sorry, but like 15 an hour needs to be the minimum wage, and that's already a shitty wage. It's
It
not
is.
enough
I mean,
money.
from what I understand, there's a couple reports I've seen on this, but the average seems to be about if wages had kept current with or had kept up with the way they're supposed to with growth, minimum wage would be about $21 right now. But as soon as the '70s hit, they just fucking flatlined,
Yep. Done.
and they have not kept up with inflation at all. So, yeah, so the minimum wage, because I think federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour right now, which is preposterous. So minimum wage should be about 3 times what it is now, if the minimum wage kept up with inflation the way it's supposed to. And here's the thing that I don't understand. Like, I get the argument, like, oh, you don't want to have a fast food guy making 15 an hour because those jobs, are only supposed to be for kids in high school to get work experience. I'm like, okay, that's great, but not everyone who works there, like, is in high school. Like, sometimes people work there as just a part-time job to help with the Medicaid check or the Medicare check they get because it doesn't cover everything. Or excuse me, Social Security check they get everyone because it doesn't cover everything. Everything's so fucking expensive. But the thing is, like, if you start pumping that much money into the economy by forcing businesses to increase their wages, like, do you know what's going to happen to the economy? Because, like, people like Jeff and I, like, we have extra money, we buy stuff. Sometimes, not every time, but we have extra money, we buy stuff. Do you know what it's going to be like when you suddenly have, even just throwing a figure out there, like, say 100 million people suddenly have more money? They aren't going to save it. They're going to spend it. They're going to throw it into the economy, and that's what's going to grow the economy.
Because there's a bunch of shit that I need to buy, but I can't.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I would love to be able to buy it.
Exactly.
And as soon as I do, man, oh man, like, if I suddenly saw, like, an influx of cash in my pocket, you know what I'm going to do? I'm gonna finally get my car all the maintenance it needs.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. It's like you give people extra money, and they spend it. And you know what happens when people spend money? Businesses get more money. You know what happens when small businesses get more money? They expand. You know what happens when they expand? They can hire more people because they have the capital to do so. By keeping wages low and giving these huge tax cuts, nothing is going to change.
It's really not rocket science.
It really isn't. Like, if you're already a billionaire and you get a tax cut, are you really going to throw the extra money into your business? Why would you? You're already a billionaire. You're already making enough money to be a billionaire. Why do you need to change anything?
Like, how much money is enough money? Really?
Like, apparently
This
they
is
need
crazy.
all of the money.
Like, how much more money could you possibly fucking need?
And I know it's kind of cliche to say, but it's true. You will die one day, and you cannot take it with you.
I mean, to be fair, the Rothschilds have been connected to international banking since the 1700s.
That's a little bit of a different story.
they've been keeping the money in the family for quite some time.
But that's, I mean, I gotta say, a 300-year plus business, maybe they deserve to have that money. But yeah, it's fascinating to me. Like, the greed that exists. And I think too, a lot of people have such misunderstandings about how these kind of things work. It's like, when you get the wage increase, it's not like the next day is not $15 an hour for everyone. It's over a period of 5 to 10 years. So businesses have time to react, have time to prepare for the wage increase that's coming. I don't understand why people can't see that. I don't know. But that is, unless you have anything you'd like to add, Jeff?
Kenny, I'm fucking spent.
Are you? Well, let's move on to something lighter for a moment.
But not in the fun, like, way that I've, like, not in the fun way that, like, I just finished having sex and I want to have a cigarette. I'm spent. Like,
it's more like
I'm exhausted.
Spent like I just had to pay a bunch of bills and I'm broke again. Kind of spent. So the Golden Globes were on Sunday, I believe. Was it Sunday?
Oh yeah.
And
yes.
Queen Oprah gave a speech. It was apparently a very good speech. I didn't hear it because I don't watch the Golden Globes because I don't care. But apparently it was a great speech. And I believe it. I'm sure it was an awesome speech. I'll probably watch it at some point. But after that speech, there's a lot of talk of Oprah 2020, Oprah on a presidential run.
Oprah 2020, Kenny.
And to that, I have to say, how about Nopra? How about she doesn't run for president? Yeah, as much as I'm sure she has the best of intentions, to be fair, she hasn't announced that she's running. This is just speculation, but I'm just gonna talk as though she has announced that she's going to do it for the sake of ease. As much I'm sure she would have great intentions. Maybe she'd be a great candidate. I don't fucking care. I want people with fucking experience. I don't want another Donald Trump. I don't care what side of the aisle he's on.
Kenny, Bill Kristol, longtime conservative Bill Kristol.
I cannot handle socially aware Bill Kristol. It confuses me.
He called her. He said in a tweet about Oprah, sounder on economics than Bernie Sanders, understands middle America better than Elizabeth Warren, less touchy-feely than Joe Biden, more pleasant than Andrew Cuomo, more charismatic than John Hickenlooper. Hashtag I'm with her. Oprah's got Bill Kristol's vote, man.
Okay, Bill Kristol is a pretty dyed-in-the-wool Republican, but pretty much since Trump, slightly before he got elected, but he's been all about social awareness and injustice, and I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this because I don't like you most of the time, but I'm really agreeing with a lot of what you're saying.
He also tweeted this, and of course, Oprah came from infinitely more challenging circumstances than Trump, is wealthier than Trump, has read more books than Trump, is more stable than Trump, and isn't under investigation by the Justice Department, unlike Trump.
The closest thing Oprah has had to a legal battle is that she said some things about beef on her show, and all she said was, because this is when Mad Cow was a thing, she said, you know what, I'm not going to eat beef now. And she was sued by whatever lobbying firm is all about, the beef lobbying firm. And that's the most legal trouble she's ever been in. That's it. But again, all about Oprah, support you, much love. Still not going to vote for her if she runs. I want an actual candidate.
The White House is apparently already preparing for this. Asked about a potential win for candidacy in 2020, a White House spokesman said, "We welcome the challenge, whether it be Oprah Winfrey or anybody else."
But do you know who's also a really big fan of Oprah? 1999 Donald Trump.
Yes, he did.
He was on Larry King in 1999, back before he announced his run for presidency in 2000, which is funny because he tweeted at one point earlier saying that he won the presidency on his first try. I guess he forgot he ran in 2000 as a third-party candidate. When Larry King asked him who his VP pick would be, the only person he threw out was Oprah.
Yes.
So clearly he has some kind of positive.
He mentioned her as a potential running.
Yep. And the only name that he gave, didn't name a single other person. So I guess he has some. He feels confident in her ability in some way. He has some faith in her. Yeah. Again, but I don't want Oprah to run. Please don't run, Oprah. I'll endorse whatever candidate you support, but please do not run. I want someone with experience as some kind of political figure.
Stedman Graham, the longtime partner and companion of Oprah Winfrey.
Stedman.
Stedman. He said, quote, "It's up to the people." When they asked her about her if she's running, when he was asked if she would be running, he said it's up to the people. She would absolutely do it.
Oh God.
Kenny, you know what? I'm for it. Let's do this.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's go Oprah the Rock 2020.
Okay, you know what? We had black president for 8 years, and the country did great.
Gotta say,
you know what?
Did pretty well.
Did pretty well, and then we had huge blowback from a bunch of angry Nazis, and now we've got Trump for 1 year, and this whole place is coming down like a house of cards. Yep. I say we double down and we get our own celebrity. So we double down. We get a celebrity of our own and we get a black woman. Boom. What?
Because I mean, how many barriers would that be? It's like you get the first female president, you get the first successful billionaire president.
Hey!
Yeah.
First successful television star.
It's true. She founded her own network, and that shit is just fucking going strong. You know,
It's still a little weird that she's on the cover of every issue of Oprah magazine.
also that she calls it O,
Yeah,
because still not feeling that name, Oprah.
little weird,
Yeah,
little weird. I keep thinking of O-Face.
Yeah, that's my problem. Every time I'm thinking orgasm,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, fuck, no, Oprah. You know what? Fuck it, Oprah 2020. It's a stupid idea, but fuck it. Country's gonna burn to death anyway.
Yeah, Kenny, we're going down anyway.
Might as well go down.
And honestly, can she do any worse?
That's the thing. Literally, short of actually blowing the country up, you could not do worse as president. And even then,
Trump still has time.
But even then, some of us be like, you know what? This is fine. Fuck it.
Fuck it. This is fine. This is fine. Everything's fine.
We're that little dog sitting at the table with the building on fire, saying this is fine.
This is fine.
But in times like this,
I feel fine.
In times like this, I'm reminded of a.
Kenny, you think we should call it a day there?
I think so. Well, let's end it on this note. When it comes to the Trump presidency and voting and all that, I'm reminded of a Steve Hofstetter joke, where he said, I used to be like, really like all about voting and like everyone like, yeah, you gotta get out and vote. If you don't vote, you can't complain. Everyone needs their voice heard. And then this election happened, and then I'm thinking, okay, maybe not everybody.
Take it back, quick.
Maybe not specifically you.
Not you, or you. Definitely not you. You know who you are.
That's right. You know who we're talking about. Yeah, I think unless you have any parting thoughts, Jeff.
I'm out. This is it.
I can't wait to see what next week's going to be like. Whew. Can't wait.
Ooh, doggy.
And remember, guys, next episode, the 1-year anniversary of Trump's presidency.
Oh.
So get your gifts ready.
Yay.
But on that note, thank you as always for listening. I hope you were able to digest everything that we said, because there's a lot here.
There's a lot going on, man.
There's
It's
a
a busy
lot
week.
of shit happening. And I will say I can't wait for the episode where the Mueller investigation is concluded. That's going to be a fun episode. But anyway, on that note, thank you again for listening. As always, if you want us to talk about something, or there's something you want to hear our opinion on, anything of that nature, send us a link in the description. And tell us what your favorite part of the week was. What your favorite day this week was. But yes, on that note, thank you as always for listening, and tune in next week for the next episode of A Better Podcast with Kenny and Jeff.
Good night, everybody.
Play us out.